What's up, y'all? And it's me, Tasha C, and I'm here to review Real World Season 29, Episode 4, also known as in honor of Jenny's space expression. Oh shit. Because this is the post the day that the arrival of the exes come in. Well, let's get this started. Now, I'm just gonna be rambling on stuff like that would occur. Um, Jumping here from there. Um, I can say this: all of the exes that appeared in the house or are supposed to be roommates for the remaining amount of the show or whatever goes on, everyone's ex came except Jamie's. And when I thought about it, it wasn't until after the episode ended. When you think about it, well, everyone else is interactive. We've even seen through webcam. We've seen them in person before, the other cast members, and blah, blah, blah. So we already pretty much knew there was a possibility of them. So first, I was like, wait a minute, Jamie's ex is not there. But I think about it, he is in a popular band and stuff. So, we ain't got time for that, I guess. So what I'm saying is that so we have enough to get some drama going, I guess. So we have here, I think Ashley still Arlene. I mean Ashley. Ashley's Arlene's ex-girlfriend Ashley, but they're still kind of in between. I want to be with you, not be with you. Arlene decides to take the roommates out because we've seen a previous scene that Thomas and Jamie, they play around and stuff, but Jamie feels uncomfortable because the cameras is there. She doesn't want to be quote quote seen having sex on camera. And he's been, pretty much been there's sexual frustration between them, but they still haven't gotten did the deed. So Arlene decides to sit here, I think Jamie, why do I keep calling her Jamie? I meant to say Jenny and Corey, they're still talking cool. They're talking about, I think, around that time about their exes and about them. But, they realize, like I said, they're now officially friends with benefits. And Arlene, like I said, decides to plan this dinner to spice up the sexual tension. So she's up here talking about some, like, it might be the Last Supper. And this place, y'all, if y'all ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, it kind of reminds us that. And by the way, in between, when we're starting to see these scenes, we're seeing 96 hours to the exes come. Another 40 hours. The final countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. I mean, pretty much you can really see all the countdown to the exes came here. So, she takes him out to this eye washer. You got women, these right out here out, the black mask, cleavage out there up there giving lap dances, massages. They right there. This one guy, I mean, that was to get everybody to move because they're having dinner. But you see all this exotic behavior, massages. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody got a happy ending. But what I'm saying is that everyone was starting to get turned on, and Jay didn't know, and it was best with the heat. Closed his eyes, and for a second, there was a gentleman that was giving him a massage, and I mean, James just in the confession like, please, this is gonna be on film, isn't it? I think he massaged with the cord. I think I noticed they edited it, so I don't think he knew the dude was behind him neither, or whatever was going on. But other than that, everybody got turned on. Jenny got turned on, blah blah blah, and Jay was just by himself as usual for the moment. And like I said, Arlene, says, of course, her and Ashley got it on. Jenny and of course Corey decided to do a shower because she admitted that even though she feels like he has his flaws, but she has to admit that he is good looking and he's good in bed. Plus plus. So then finally Thomas and Jamie do the deed. Finally after like that, because it was like so much to get all this just all this body to body stuff going on. Okay, that was going on at that dinner. I don't know what that place was called, I forgot, but it's just like I said, it kind of reminded me of I Watch Shut and some other kind of remind me of Madonna's sex erotica video in her book a little bit. I don't know why. So, and justify my look. I don't know why. It just kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Maybe that's just me. So, in between then, after all this is going on, we have Jenny is on the phone and Corey's ex, which it turns out later on that Corey has not seen his ex. I think her name is more. That's too many more extra names. But I'm going to say Corey's ex for now, so I remember names. Was calling there. Jenny's on the phone, and Jenny's like, she wants to speak to Corey. She's like, Jenny's like, okay, no, you get to call him back or something like that. And she's asking, like, well, why can't I talk? And she's like, I'm on the phone. And she's like, okay, well, take this number down. And then she calls back, I don't know how many minutes later. And again, she must speak to Corey. And she's, again, I think his ex was up here complaining over and over again about, you doing this to me. I'm sick and tired, blah, blah, blah. Why you haven't called me in a week and blah, 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 stuff of that nature. And that's what I'm saying is he's been talking usually every day, but the producers, like I said, the producers are more interactive now than ever. And they even asked her a couple questions with the ex, and she's, she admitted that she's been with him so long that she still sees something's there, basically. That's what I got out of it. So she still wants to hold on and think there's a chance. And, like I said, Corey and Jenny with the benefits. Then we have interesting, like I said, I think Ashley, after that night of, just sex in the air, leaves. Now, another interesting thing is Jay says that he admitted that he cheated on his ex, who's also, that's Jenna. Like I said, too many JJs in that house. Okay. He admitted that he cheated on her in the past, but he really wants to work for her. Now, there was a scene where she was talking to her, and she was saying where she was somewhere, and it was a place that his mom used to go to, it turns out. And it was just one of those moments. And Jay admitted that he always, the time he cried with his mom, it's been several years he cried. He usually carries, a shell, a shield, a protection, as far as like, showing or having emotions, always like just staying strong, you know. So, like I said, he really want to work with her, but here when he goes to clubs, he's getting these numbers just for the thrill of it. And you got girls, you got pictures grinding with him, blah blah blah. And I don't know where they were posted at, if they were just sent directly to the exes, or they were, into his Instagram or Twitter or something. And then, he talks to his ex the next day, Jenna, and she's just like, these pictures are on here, and Jay is like, no, there's nothing wrong as long as I'm not sleeping with these females. And then, the next day they go out again, and he's flirting one particular girl and saying, you might be one of my favorite girls, blah blah, give a kiss and cheek. And then he tries to do this real quick so the cameras would catch him. And actually, I think you can tell some of the distance, and also Jenny had noticed too that he ends up kissing, I guess, this girl on the lips or whatever. And then when he got back home, he's already concerned about the cameras catching him. Because when Corey's I think was trying to have a discussion with him, he was just like, y'all, cameras, can y'all please, I love y'all, bro, but could y'all please give us at least X seconds? Too many cameras, okay? And Jenny was just like, that's maybe, she was just playing with him though, but she was like, that's wrong. I couldn't be your girlfriend, so I wouldn't be your girlfriend more hearing something like that. So like I said, Jay is just quote flirting, and he's not doing anything, even though he feels nervous about what the behavior's done, and that might be also uploaded or whatever Instagram. So let's see. Like I said, they go to the store, a Chinese store that sells, like, I think it was a Chinese store. And Jamie and Thomas was just talking, and Jamie feels like, Thomas expressed from his hair. Thomas feels like, even though before he got here, who knows how long ago it was. The last person who slept with was Haley. Now I remember her name, his ex. But he feels like Jamie, helps him, is helping him get over her. So, another interesting event. Now, Ashley ex Amazon, and everybody's picking on me and throw something at Ashley. And I except as guess go out and like, what the hell is she talking about? Her stuff was still there. And, for a couple days, like I said, nobody heard or seen her, and she, I guess, was trying to avoid it, which we find out later on that she does finally get her stuff. So, but like I said, in between, they're still able to use, I don't know, the full internet, or at least access to the emails. There's a limited amount of internet. And so, Jenny is trying to see her emails. And, she notices that, the email is still set up that she's like, you real quickly, like, was not signed out. And it was from, Thomas X. Okay, I think it's Haley. Oh my gosh, I hope I got the names right. Thomas X. We're just gonna leave it Thomas X, because I could have sworn it was Haley's report. Like I said, y'all forgive me. It is too many names to remember. It might take me another couple episodes before I get everybody's name right. So, we got the emails, and Jenny's looking out for Jamie, so it lets you know about these emails, because emails was from Thomas X. We'll just say that for now on, to further notice. And they were saying, like, I miss you so much, blah, 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 and stuff like that. I still have feelings for you, something along those lines. And she was just letting you know, Jamie, of course, already has a problem with him, because he already told her, like, he doesn't like to burn bridges or anything like that. So he still is cool. He's friends with his ex or exes or whatever. And Jamie already has a problem with that. She was like, well, how would you feel? I also did that as well. So, but they just taking it one day at a time. But of course, she goes to confront him later about it. And someone told me about these emails, and he actually told the exact same emails that Jenny was describing, about it. He was like, it was no big deal. Of course, she's asking him, like, why did you not tell me? And he's just like, it's no big deal, nothing like that, whatever. I can't stop her for her feeling like the way she feels, I guess in his words, I'm not responding to it, so who cares? But she feels like, she needs to, Jamie, she needs to respect the boundaries, is what she is trying to get out there. Okay, there was another quick conversation when Jim was talking to her ex Brian, and it came along the line. She was asking, was he still sleeping with another girl? He was like, he could if I want to. Well, are you sleeping with that personal trainer, Randy? Of course, she is telling him that she did, and he's just kind of like feels like a fool again, or something like that in the nature. Something like he feels like a fool, blah blah blah, and it isn't one of those conversations. So, there really wasn't that much. But here, what goes on now? The producers decide to put the remaining 6 original castmates of the seasons on. The producers call. Arlene answers the phone, and they said, where you're going to trip? And Arlene's saying a trip, and the producers like, check the email. So she ends up checking they end up all checking the email on the screen, and it's to, what is it called? Silverhorn. It's a boathouse, and it's just houseboat, and of course they're going to be going for 2 days. So we're seeing on and off between, besides like as they were seeing between Final Countdown, the last 20 minutes, the last 1.1 seconds before the aliens arrive. Okay, so they're on this boat, and everyone's actually having a good time. I think Corey and by Jenny that time, it probably had screwed at least 3 or 4 or 5 times on that boat before they left. And you see all this just wonderful stuff happening. Arlene says in confessionals, this is the first time that all the cast members got along. Okay, y'all, yeah, after y'all had to eliminate one person, and then I'm thinking like, ooh, y'all, this is temporarily, because they all know it's a possibility they might get another roommate, and they just didn't know where it was. And I forgot to mention, y'all, it was a one little funny part. But it made more funny because the black Corey didn't like flip out or nothing, so they had Chris Huber, and they played a program, I think it was right before they left for the trip, right? And he, his scary, he's afraid, the most scariest movie to him is The Grudge, right? So they got Jamie in this white, oversized robe, and they got this fake blood, I don't know, could have been tomato sauce or something, all on here, and then of course they got her hair watered down, flipped, just covering her whole entire face. And then, Corey's asleep, so everybody else is awake, right? So you got a top on the side other side of the bed, talking about whatever he's talking about, right? And then, Jamie's like at least maybe 2 feet away from Corey's bed. And then all of a sudden he roomed in it. Corey just looks at Jamie, just just jumps. I thought he was gonna fall off the bed, but he pretty much was scared too. But he admitted, like, I know I'm a grown man, but heck, that scared me. I know I screamed, so he's just like, y'all don't do that again. But he took the joke, and that was funny. So anyway, back on trip, everyone's kumbaya, which is pretty cool to see everybody was getting along. But at this time, here we got the producers, like I said, first Ashley came, got, I think, her boyfriend at the time, and one of her, I think, maybe her friends from the previous episode, I don't know for sure. And they all going to get her stuff. And then she leaves in confessionals. She's at good spirits at the moment, and she's basically saying, like, hi, everybody, I hope everybody had a good time. I'm sorry, I had to leave the house type of thing. She's all good spirits. It wasn't like anything malicious at the moment. So after that, we end up seeing, like I said, the producers at work after Ashley left. Like I said, they must have gave her the note that nobody was there, and she got her stuff. And then all of a sudden, here you got them starting to make beds for the X. I don't know. I mean, beds up, and they change stuff around, added more beds, whatever the case was. And then first we see Corey's ex comes in, and then after that we see Brian. That's the only name I remember because they only do them in the new bunch. Brian, Jenny's ex coming in there, and they talked a little bit, and then they realize, oh, you're Corey's ex, or you're Jenny's ex, and they're just like, wow. And Corey's ex is already like, this is like, she still thinks there's a chance, and she wants to get basically Jenny out the picture. So, then we have, what was the I think that Jenna started coming in. Like I said, everybody else's came, like I said, excluding Jamie's ex is not obviously going to be a part of this season, at least to my knowledge. And then the last one was Ashley, and then it was kind of like, well, Durden just went out back, just came out was in the house less than 2 seconds ago, so it really was like no big, because she was already visiting and kind of like was in the house already, so it was like I didn't really thinking about, because then even the room exes didn't know that the other ex was coming, when they conversing, blah blah blah. And so Corey X is joking with everybody, wants everybody, was like, we need to make an alliance. So when all of a sudden the crew arrives and stuff, right, they already know the possibility still, the roommate, they talking about the way back, and the whole thing about the new roommate, because like I ever say, everybody's kumbaya at the moment. And then, oh my gosh, and soon, I think Jenny was the first one that came to the door, right, and she say she seen the back. That's all she seen, because the rest of the exes actually hid behind the bar, because it was that's how long it was. And when they come in and she's first going, she's like, she see this guy, he has dark hair, he has his muscles, and she was like, oh, who is that? And he turns around and it's her ex, and she just, what the, oh shit, I could have swore, she was just like this for 1 minute. Probably longer than that, because everybody else still coming in, she's still like this. So I'm just saying, out of shock, which is, that's pretty much one of those old shit moments. And so everybody else just sitting there, once all the exes come, they're just like surprised, and they're just all just sitting there surprised, but not in the way they want to be surprised. I think maybe Arlene, they didn't really show her face because they're still stuck on Jenny's like a frozen in time look. So it ends there, and we see the credits, and then we see the possibility, like, we already know, like, the possibility that Brian and Corey might get into it, blah, blah, blah. And, they really too much didn't show the next scene. So that's pretty much all that kind of was highlighted in that episode, I guess, that I highlighted. Okay, y'all, my last note is, if you're a YouTuber, I plan on doing I did a YouTube video already, shouting out YouTubers, also my YouTube buddies as well. But if you have a YouTube channel, I'm doing this until now to February the 9th. You can put in the comments below if you have a YouTube channel. As long as it's not negative, like, I hate people, blah, 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 I hate this person. You see what I'm saying? Then please let me know, and I'll try to make sure to put it in, because I plan on doing it in a couple more weeks, and make a YouTube shout out video, and I will try to get your channel in there and support. Alright, y'all, have a pleasant night, pleasant week, and I'll see y'all in the next video, and if you're just watching this particular review of the show, I'll see y'all in episode 5. Good day, everybody.